Hey Neil, have you ever looked up at a plane and just wondered how it all started?
All the time, Charlie. It's amazing how something as ordinary as flying now was once the wildest dream humans had. I mean, we're talking about centuries of trial, error, and a bit of crash landing.
Yep, and it all started with just one thing: imagination. Even before science, people were dreaming about flight.
Take the ancient Greeks. Ever heard of Daedalus and Icarus?
Oh yeah, the father and son Daedalus and Icarus were imprisoned by King Minos in the labyrinth that Daedalus built. Daedalus decided to build wings out of feathers and wax for him and his son to escape. But Icarus flies too close to the sun, wax melts, boom, he falls into the sea.
Moral of the story, flight is dangerous. And overconfidence isn't great either.
For sure, but it shows how far back the obsession with flying goes. Fast forward a few centuries, and you've got the Chinese launching kites around 500 BC.
That's right, and they weren't just toys. They were used for military signaling, measuring distances, even testing wind direction. Some records say they even strapped people to kites.
Risky, but you've got to admire the spirit. Then in the 9th century, we have Abbas ibn Firnas in Spain. The guy literally jumped off a cliff wearing a cloak stiffened with wooden struts.
And he managed to glide for a bit before crashing. Legend says he injured his back, but he believed the problem was that he didn't include a tail for stability. That's real engineering thinking.
Now skip ahead to the Renaissance, when art, science, and big dreams came together through Leonardo da Vinci.
Da Vinci didn't just paint the Mona Lisa. He filled notebooks with flying machines. His ornithopter design mimicked bird wings, powered by human arms and legs.
Problem is, humans don't have the strength-to-weight ratio for that kind of flight. Still, Da Vinci understood things like center of gravity, lift, and airflow.
He even sketched a parachute and a prototype helicopter powered by a screw-shaped rotor. The prototype helicopter never flew, but in 2000, a skydiver named Adrian Nicholas decided to test Da Vinci's parachute, and it actually worked.
Then came the 18th century, when science meets spectacle with the Montgolfier brothers.
Joseph and Etienne. They launched the first manned hot air balloon in 1783. No engine, just fire heating air in a silk balloon. The first passengers, a sheep, a duck, and a rooster.
Classic test crew. After that, 2 humans, François Pilatre de Rosier and Marquis d'Arlandes, flew over Paris for about 25 minutes.
Balloons took off, literally. But here's the problem. No control, you go wherever the wind blows.
Which brings us to the concept of heavier-than-air flight. That's where the real science starts kicking in.
One of the most important figures here is Sir George Cayley. In 1799, he described the modern airplane layout. A fixed wing for lift, a tail for stability, and a propulsion system.
He even built and flew gliders by the 1850s. His glider carried an actual person. Some say it was his coachman, who wasn't exactly thrilled about it.
Can't blame him. But Cayley is often called the father of aviation for a reason. He was the first to treat flight as an engineering problem, not just a dream.
Then there's Jean-Marie Le Bris, a French naval officer who built gliders that supposedly flew higher than their launch point, using horse-drawn launches. But documentation is shaky.
Now we head into the late 1800s, and here comes Otto Lilienthal, the German glider king.
This guy built gliders, studied birds, and made thousands of flights. His meticulous notes on wing curvature, lift, and control surfaces were gold.
Tragically, he died in 1896 after a crash. But before he died, he said, "Sacrifices must be made." Chilling, but his work was crucial.
Over in the US, we had Octave Chanute, a civil engineer who shared global flight experiments and encouraged collaboration.
Chanute built biplane gliders and compiled a huge book of global flight research. Guess who read it?
The Wright brothers, 2 bicycle mechanics from Dayton, Ohio, Orville, and Wilbur.
They studied Cayley, Lilienthal, and Chanute. But they didn't just build, they tested.
They made over 200 wing models and used a homemade wind tunnel to study lift and drag. That was cutting-edge stuff.
Their genius was in solving control. Most gliders were hard to steer, but the Wrights figured out 3-axis control: pitch up-down, roll-tilt, and yaw-turn.
They used wing warping for roll, a rudder for yaw, and elevators for pitch. It let them truly fly, not just float.
Then they built a lightweight engine, just 12 horsepower, using aluminum to reduce weight.
And on December 17, 1903, on the windy sands of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, history was made.
December 17, 1903. The winds of Kitty Hawk carry the world's first controlled, powered flight. 12 seconds. 120 feet. That's shorter than the length of a commercial.
But longer than your patience.
The Wright brothers didn't stop. By 1905, they had sustained turning flight. A real aircraft.
And it still looked like a bench with wings.
But it flew. And that changed everything.
World War I, enter the biplane. Canvas, wood, and just enough engine to barely not stall.
And guns. Don't forget the synchronized machine guns. Invented by Fokker so that the guns wouldn't shred the plane's propellers while firing.
Oh, I noticed. These were flying gun racks with PTSD potential.
They flew low, slow, and brave. Pilots weren't just flying, they were dueling, or dogfighting as we call it normally.
Good news, he missed me. Bad news, I hit the ground.
After the war came refinement, stronger engines, enclosed cockpits, aerodynamics that didn't scream barn door.
Some designs still did, though.
Air racing record-breaking. Charles Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic solo in 1927.
No GPS, just guts and maps, and no bathroom.
True courage comes with bladder control. War II took flight tech into overdrive. Fighters could now exceed 600 kilometers an hour. Bombers carried tons of payload. Aviation became a weapon of global strategy.
And sound. These engines roared. Nothing like the purr of a V-12 Rolls-Royce Merlin.
Famous planes like the Spitfire, the Mustang, the Bf-109, the Zero, all engineering marvels for their time. Then came high-altitude bombing. The sky became both a sanctuary and a graveyard.
Flying fortresses and flying funerals.
There were also unique planes like the Do-335, which had a push-pull engine configuration.
This means that the Do-335 had the power of a twin-engine aircraft, but was compact as a single-engine aircraft, allowing it to sear at 700 kilometers per hour.
Then, the jet. In 1944, Germany deployed the Me-262, the first operational jet fighter.
Faster than anything the Allies had, but also more likely to explode.
The engine tech was new, fragile, but it paved the way to a new era, the jet age.
Yeah, the Jumo 004 turbojet didn't have a long service life, just around 20 hours.
Hey, at least the Germans slapped a 50mm cannon onto the Me-262A1/4 after figuring out that they needed more firepower.
Aren't the 430mm cannons already enough? Anyways, by Korea, jets were dueling in the sky, swept wings, cannons. Sound barrier? Flirted with.
Let's talk engines. How do these flying tubes of thunder work?
Step 1, steal air. Step 2, burn it. Step 3, commit arson at 900 degrees Celsius.
Ha! Close enough. First, air enters the intake. Then the compressor, rows of blades, squeeze that air tight. Fuel gets injected, the mix combusts. Hot gases expand backward, spinning the turbine, and shoot out the nozzle. Thrust.
Fire goes out the back, plane goes forward. Newton would be proud.
Early jets, like the Me-262's Jumo 0004, were inefficient and short-lived, but they proved the concept.
And now, turbofans, quieter, more fuel efficient, still terrifying if you're standing behind one.
That's 70 years of refinement, and still based on suck, squeeze, bang, blow.
Sounds like a barbecue with poor safety standards.
Post-World War II, the Cold War lit a fire under aviation. Interceptors, spy planes, nuclear bombers.
The SR-71 Blackbird, still the fastest plane ever, Mach 3.3, and it leaked fuel on the ground.
Because it only sealed at high speeds. Designed to outrun missiles.
Imagine needing altitude and speed just to survive your own job.
Not just speed, also vertical takeoff. Harriers, VTOL jets, balancing on jet thrust like a hummingbird with anger issues.
Or a chair with no legs and too many rockets.
Modern jets are stealthy, fly by wire, and designed with super maneuverability.
And cost more than a small country.
But they're the result of everything that came before, from bird wings and dreams to hypersonic monsters.
And you still forgot to add a tail on your Da Vinci replica.
Maybe he forgot it too.
Flight was never just about going up. It was about going beyond. Beyond what was known. Beyond what was safe. Beyond what made sense.
And sometimes beyond the bounds of physics. But hey, they tried. And they flew.
And sometimes they exploded.
Totally worth it.
I agree.